What's going on, everybody? I'm Rick and I'm just an average dad turning my garage into my workshop. Today's video is going to be the start of my countertops that you see here. We've got a 20-inch drawers and a 25-inch drawers, and they've been awesome to build, super easy to build. So if you are wanting to build something for your garage, come along for the ride, see what I screw up, see what I get right, and we can see how these become the start of this awesome countertop system that you can see right here. So as always, the first thing I always like to do is to get the pieces broken down into manageable sizes. I'm using my track saw for this, but again, if you don't have a track saw, you can use a circular saw with a straight edge, whichever you want. Once I've got them broken down into manageable pieces, it's over to the table saw to cut them to the final dimensions. I always like to use the factory edge first to give me a nice straight parallel edge. So I'll cut that first. I make sure that my pieces are slightly oversized, turn it over, put the fence to the final dimension, and then run the factory edge off, so that way then I've got perfect parallel edges. For trimming small parts at this time, I didn't have my miter saw station set up, so I just got my sled out. Makes it nice, easy for repeatable cuts. I'm using pocket holes to build the boxes and the carcasses. They make it so easy to build cabinets, and yeah, just get yourself a pocket hole jig. I had a single hole jig for years. Now I went and upgraded to the 720 Pro, and it makes fast work of doing lots of pocket holes. So yeah, it makes it super simple. Here I'm just using my square, just setting out 3 inches for my toe kick, using the square with the jigsaw to keep the cuts nice and square. As you can see, pocket holes make fast work of joining pieces together. I get everything clamped up, glued up, then insert the pocket screws, and it makes fast work. I think I built this cabinet carcass in about 10 minutes once all the pocket holes were done. So here I'm just using some 2x2 blocks, gluing them and then brad nailing to the side. I got this idea off Brad from Fix This, Build That. Then I'm going to go and drill them and put in T-nuts and carriage bolts, and it makes a great way to level these cabinets. My garage slopes pretty good from the house down to the garage door, so this way of leveling is a great way. This drilling guide is awesome for just keeping your drill parallel to where you want to drill into, and then just use that for the pilot hole and then follow through with a bigger hole for the T-nut. So because I'm learning, I'm using my shop furniture as my proving ground to try all my techniques. And one of the things that I wanted to do with these drawers was to make them as perfect and as square and as best as I could. And these corner clamps helped to keep everything in perfect 90 degrees, so that when I clamp it for doing the pocket hole screws, everything was square. They work really good. It takes a little bit of time to finagle around, but it makes everything really nice and square, and all your edges are nice and flush. So I'm just taking my time to make sure all the upper faces are completely flush. So when you open the drawer, everything's nice and flush. Just checking for squareness here, and then I can cut the bottom panel to suit, just at a 1/4 inch ply. Because these drawer boxes aren't going to be holding that much weight, basically just a quick zip around of glue and then follow around with 18 gauge brads all the way around. That's the first drawer box done. Another tip I got from, I think this was John Malecki I saw this one from, just using a straw to get the glue out of the corners works really good. So now it's just a case of going through and repeating the process for the rest of the drawers. I've got 2 drawers on here that are 2 inches deep, that are for pencils and calculators, scissors, that kind of stuff. And then the rest are deeper drawers that I use to contain all my spares. So for this, I thought about cutting pieces of wood and then using them to line up all my hinges, but I didn't have anything at the back to line them up with. So here, 3D printed a drawer slide clamp holder, whatever you want to call it. Basically just line it up with the pencil marks, clamp it down, and then I can line my drawer slide up next to it and fix the drawer slides in using the screws. It made for a really quick process, 10 slides on each set of drawers, and it worked like a charm. And just flip the carcass over to complete the drawer slides on the opposite side, making sure all the dimensions are accurate so the drawer slides stay parallel. I've got all these in the plans, so if you love building Lego, that's how I've kind of done my plans. It's basically step by step, using the Lego style diagrams. All the dimensions are on there, and basically anybody who's got hardly any experience can build a set of drawers like this, and they turn out fantastic. I use my own plans and assembly diagrams to make these drawers, so basically what I used is what you're getting, and they work really, really good. You can find a link to those plans in the description below. So I'm starting off working with my drawers from the bottom. I put in a piece of 1/4 inch ply just to raise the drawer box up 1/4 inch off the bottom of the cabinet, using my 3D printed drawer slide to keep everything in parallel, and then just going through fixing the drawers in with the screws that came with the slides. And once I've got the first one in, it's all nice and parallel, I can use spacers then to space the rest of the drawers up, and then they're going to stay all nice and uniform. So I got this little jig off Amazon. Works great once you set it up. It's a little bit finicky, but yeah, just take your time, get the first one set up, and then it makes blasting through drawers super, super quick. I was able to do all 5 drawers, well, apart from my screw up you'll see in a minute, in about 10 minutes. So it took no time at all. And here comes the screw up. Oh no. Oh. Ah. That was supposed to be my backer board. This was the drawer front. So back to the table saw we go, using the old one as a template. Ripping off a new drawer front. Oh well, you live and learn. I think I was starting to get tired, so that's how that mistake happened, but it's easily done. You got to learn to take your time in the workshop, otherwise mistakes happen, or even worse, accidents happen. So just marking it back out again, just to get the jig set back up, put on, and drill it back so that the handles are in the same spot as all the others. So quick sand, the 220 grit sandpaper. Think something's telling me it's time to call it a day and go and have a beer. So So as I was saying, quick sand with 220 grit sandpaper. I'm not painting these, I'm just going to give them a clear coat of polyurethane, so it makes it easier just to give all the surfaces a quick sand before I assemble the drawer boxes. So here I'm just putting on a kind of a starting plate for my drawer faces. I'm going to start at the bottom on this one because then it's easier to work my way up, and just use the old playing card trick to line them up so that there's an 1/8 of an inch gap between all the drawer fronts, and temporarily securing the drawer fronts to the drawer boxes, getting them all in line, and then I can come back and countersink the back of the drawers and then drive in 1.25 inch countersunk screw into the drawer fronts to hold the drawer faces on. Each of my drawers got a couple of coats of polyurethane just to give them some protection, and then it's on with the drawer handles. I really like the clean look. I use one panel for all the drawer faces, so they've got a bit of uniformity all the way down, and I think these drawers came out awesome. First time I've ever built a set of drawers like this, and yeah, I think it's come out pretty good. I took my time, made sure everything was square, everything was accurate, all the measurements were on, and yeah, I'm really happy with these. So now it's just a rinse and repeat for the rest of them. So that's the 20-inch drawers done. Now I'm going to go on to the 25-inch drawers. These ones is only going to be 4 of them, so they're a little bit deeper, but it's exactly the same process, so I'm not going to go and bore you through exactly how I did them because you've just seen it. So these are just slightly wider, but not as deep, because I wanted a bit at the back for room to store stuff. But again, you can go and get your plans for these, adjust them to suit, and you can find that link for these plans down in the description below. So do you ever get that feeling when you're building something that something isn't quite right? Well, I just had that feeling, and it was confirmed when I went to put the base on my drawer. That doesn't fit that way or that way. So I'm like, uh-oh, what have I messed up? Have I messed up my bottom panel? No. What I've gone and done is put my pocket holes on what was supposed to be the side rails of the drawer instead of the end rails. So my drawer's the wrong dimensions. So make sure when you're doing stuff and you're following the instructions, you follow the right parts. So at least now, these are going to be the drawers that are over there, so you're not really going to see them. So I can basically put the pocket holes and transfer them to the sides, and then I'll be able to, should be able to not see these too much when I pull the drawers open, but oh well. That's why we build shop furniture, to figure out our screw-ups before we start building stuff for other people charging money, because I'm really trying to refine my process here and get everything absolutely dead on accurate, which has been, just the holes are in the wrong place. So I guess I'm gonna do some more pocket holes. What an idiot. Ooh, that was close. Don't want to be putting pocket holes on. Full drill up, setting on the clutch. these drawers were super easy to do, and if you want to do the same, turn your garage into something awesome, get the plans, adjust them to how you need to, and get yourself an awesome garage, or workshop, or shed, or basement, whatever it is you want to create that space so that you can go and build something awesome. So until next time, stay safe, have fun, and see you soon.